At the moment, the only thing what we can expect right now is that the volatility will become higher, because there are many points so far with no answer. There is not clear so far how long the negotiation will be. It's even not clear so far at which time point United Kingdom will start the process to leave. So we have a situation with a lot of open questions in terms of politics. We have also a lot of economic questions being open. We have many impacts, for example, also especially the banking industry, because how the relationship will be in the future from a regulatory point of view. Will there be a successor rule, for example, for things like the banking passport, the EU passport? All these things are quite open right now. So what I expect is indeed a higher volatility, but I see no definitive trend. Of course, we can say if we will have a long period of open questions, then that is always bad for investments. So it will, from a specific point of view, it will turn to a downward movement of the markets. At the moment, in this first response, much more financial institutions come back with plans that they will shift part of their operations, that they will even, there are plans for some institutions to change the headquarters. So at the moment, the reactions are bigger than expected. I have heard, for example, from a big of the big four auditors that they have a lot of projects now. They will make a lot of revenues next couple of months and years for Brexit projects. So the impact seems to be bigger than expected. That can also, by the way, be a first response. Normally, people are always in panic at the very beginning. Maybe as soon people expect that there will be negotiations with very good leaving terms, then it can also happen that the response will become lower from that moment on. At the moment, there seems to be a lot of panic in the market, a lot of projects, a lot of announcements, and even you see there are spillover effects in the real economy right now. On which rank Frankfurt will compete to other competing places like Dublin, like Luxembourg, like Paris? That's the question. What are our selling points? We have a lot, by the way, indeed. With the ECB, but also the important point is, and a big argument for Frankfurt is, you are close to important clients. For example, a large US bank with a European headquarters in London. Was always, even before the Brexit and even before the financial crisis, was a serious discussion point. What do we prefer, the culture in London? Or do we prefer to be close to clients? There were always competing arguments. And now these arguments being close to clients becomes more and more important. For example, I've worked long time for Barclays, and we have made, in the German group at Barclays, made more money than the UK group. So you see how important the clients here are. For Germany, as they have a huge trading volume with the United Kingdom, for Germany, it's of course important that the terms will be good. And I assume that the German government will try to proceed the negotiation that way. But there are also others, smaller countries, for example. I think, for example, Luxembourg. They expect definitely, because Luxembourg has only financial industry, so they expect, of course, advantages for the city there. So here maybe the position can be different. So at the moment, it's not clear how this will look like. Also here, there is a first response. Governments are worried about that in Europe, but later on, rationality will come back. Then we will see. What I believe, that Germany will definitely try to reach good terms with the United Kingdom, because Germany has serious interest, because the United Kingdom is the third biggest trading partner of Germany, and Germany has definitely a target that this will continue. In finance, we are dealing with things like passporting. Passport is very important. For the real economy, the European market, the common European market is very important. Yeah? Also here, we have similar discussions here. Do we still have access here? Do we have to deal with barriers in the future? Yeah? This integrated European market is, of course, very important for the real economy, and that is, of course, a large disadvantage. On the other hand, by the way, a point we forgot here is that the European Union actually is also working on a common European capital market, so-called European Capital Market Union. These unions should offer better financing opportunities for the real economy in the future. For London, by the way, as the most important city in terms of financial industry, these new European activity would have offered, again, additional upside. Yeah? Also for the real economy, this is an upside. Yeah? So I think the timing actually for London to leave right now, yeah, is not the best. Yeah, investors, if you invest, for example, let's take the most important example, the London real estate market. Yeah? If investor invest money, they want to have low volatility in political decisions. They want to have low volatility in regulatory framework. Yeah? So from these 2 points of view, of course, it's a disadvantage. I think it was even not expected from the main players here. Yeah. But sometimes it happens. You start with something and you lose control. I think Boris Johnson has lost control about something he has initiated, because obviously I do not know if that is true what you can read about him and his strategies. But his favored situation was that a strong fraction of the UK population will vote for the Brexit, but not the majority. Yeah? So sometimes, the strategy don't work. If this will continue, that further countries will leave, then there's also no advantage anymore of the common European market. So finally, this can end up. Yeah? The European Union becomes even smaller, becomes weaker. We have no European market anymore. We have no common regulatory rules anymore. Yeah? Also in a situation like this, everybody will lose. Yeah? The best scenario for the United Kingdom is fast negotiations, and the remaining European Union will be strong. They will offer to the United Kingdom a harmonized European market and a harmonized European capital market with very good terms for UK. That's, of course, the best scenario. A very bad scenario is that more countries will leave. All these advantages the European Union offered so far from an economical point of view will not exist anymore. This will be bad for all players here. The question is now also, the European Union and the United States, they are working, also Canada, by the way, on terms of trade for the future. Now they have to enter with the United Kingdom into separate negotiations. That's one of disadvantage, of course. The other point is United Kingdom and US, they had always very close relationship, and with I think it's also from a strategic point of view, they cannot favor this what has happened, because with the United Kingdom sitting on one table with the other governments in the European Union gives also a strong voice to the United States. So I think from a strategic point of view, they cannot like what happens. If this will happen, this will be a very bad scenario. We will have in Europe 28 states of middle or small size. For Europe, this will be a disaster if this happens. If this really happens, this in combination with the new president with the name in the United States with the name Donald Trump will be a very negative scenario. Then I really have to think about to go to Australia.